Hey, this is Ola coming to you live from my Empire Pro studios. Welcome back. If you're watching me live, please hit the thumbnail, not thumbnail, hit the thumbs up so I can know that you're watching me live. Sorry if I came here late. I came here 10 minutes late because I've been trying to figure out. Basically, the Google Hangouts platform is down right now, so I had to come on the YouTube live session to come live. But we're here now. So, if you know anyone trying to plug in with us online, let's see. So let me just look at here. So let's hang out together. I have a ton of stuff to share with you today. Today we're going to be talking about how wholesaling works. Yes, we're going to be talking about how does real estate wholesaling work, and I'm going to answer that question. Also, I got a few things I want to cover today. So you basically want to make sure you stick around. All right. I want to make sure you stick around. And because I'm going to do a little analysis. Okay. A little analysis as usual. But I also have a few things I want to cover. I'm going to give shout out to those who left comment for us on the last broadcast. We're going to talk about JV disasters. That's very important for you to hear. We're going to talk about, you know, deal finder, how to become a deal finder, what exactly is the difference between a deal finder and a wholesaler. We're going to talk about probate, inheritance situation, in a situation where you encounter a person that lost their memory, Alzheimer type of situation, and the children want to sell. What do you do in that situation? We're going to talk about zoning. All right, some exciting things to talk about today. And we're going to talk about a situation where you can't find any data about a property. Okay, so stick around definitely because we're going to have some fun talking about this stuff today. All right, now, how does real estate wholesaling work? Um, if you need to understand how that works fully, go ahead and grab this book. Okay, this is the book you need to go ahead and grab. This book right here. Let me just make sure that you can see it. As a matter of fact, I need to make sure, yeah, smartrealestatewholesaling.com. You can go ahead and download it. Okay, it's available in all kind of formats. And also the audiobook is available for free. If you are a brand new, if you become a brand new Audible, if you take the trial for Audible, okay, all right. But also, as a bonus, I'm giving this real estate money secrets available as well. But they're all available. But this particular book, if you really want to understand how real estate wholesaling work, this book you need to read 10 to 15 times. But in the next 2 minutes here, I'm going to do a quick summary and then you can watch me in action. Okay. We're going to hang out for a few minutes here. So if you're not used to coming here, subscribe to this channel right now and hit the bell so you can get notified when I come live or when I upload brand new videos, which is virtually almost every time. Let's see here. Let's see here. All right. Let me just make sure that we're live and then we can take it from there. Just trying to make sure we're live. That's all. It says we're live, but I'm trying to look and verify. You know, I trust YouTube, but I need to verify. That's what you should do in business. Trust and verify. Don't just trust. Trust everyone, but verify, right? Let me see here. Okay, this is why I cannot sit. All right. So, YouTube is all right. Yep, we're live. Just wanted to make sure that we're live and that we can hear ourselves. S- All right. So we're good to go. All right. So here's the thing. How does real estate wholesaling work? Okay. Well, first of all, real estate, you need to be familiar with real estate first. So traditionally, you you need to buy, you need to sell, you go to a real estate agent, right? And you make a call, Say, hey, I have a house to sell. Can you come take a look at it? I need to list it on the market. An agent is not going to buy your house, not at least not as an agent, right? They are going to evaluate your property, see what it's worth, and put it on the market for a price they think they can get for it. The agent will get paid on a commission basis, typically anywhere from 2% to 6% of the total sales price of your property. But in that case, you need to have time in your hands. You need to have lots of time. Okay. So if that's the game you want to play, if you have time, then you're going to let the market give you the highest and best offer based on everything else. All right. That's if you have time. All right. So now if you don't have time, then a real estate agent can't help you because you know they can't help you because it's going to be tough for them to come up to the table with the buyer right away. They want exposure. It takes time to expose your property to market. Now, let's say you want to buy, right? You want to buy. You call an agent. You say, "Hey, I'm looking for a property." An agent will find out the criteria you're looking for. Do you want a brand new? You want an existing home? How many bathrooms? How many bedrooms? You need a finished basement? You need a garage? They ask all this question, and then basically they go on the MLS multiple listing system, and then they find you something that fits that criteria. That's the way it works. Okay. That's conventionally, that's traditionally. Okay. And that's basically how transactions between real estate happen. Okay. Now, from the point that you find something you like, or somebody likes your house, you start attorney review, then it's under contract, then you do title work, the inspection, appraisers, a few things. That's traditional. Okay. But real estate wholesaling is a little bit differently. Okay. It's a little bit different. Okay. The idea is you wholesale. Wholesale meaning you sell for a discounted price from the market value of the property, or you're buying at a discounted price. So typically we're buying, okay, at a discounted price. But in reality, you should be doing both, buying and selling. So you buy low, you sell high. You buy low, you sell high based on the market value. So buying low, respective, okay, relative to the market value right now. Let's say a property is worth $100,000. You buy it at $70,000. That is a wholesale price. And then you turn around and then you sell it for $75,000. You made $5,000. So, but you need $70,000. And you say, hey, Ola, I don't have $70,000. Well, here's the thing, you can put it under contract and sell the contract. And that's the definition of real estate wholesaling. Okay. You put it under contract, meaning the seller agrees to sell you the property at the discounted price of $70,000. You sell that contract for $5,000 to an end buyer. The end buyer pay for the house $70,000. They pay you a fee $5,000 for locking it under contract. That's what a wholesaler is. So that's how wholesaling works. All right. Now, the refresher is very, very important. I know you've been here and you feel like, I have to go over that. Yes, I do, because there are brand new people here and I want to make sure they are taken care of and they understand that our community here is, we're here to help everyone. Now, let's get into some advanced stuff. There's a lead that came on my table or on my desk that I feel like, let's make a call. Let's see if it picks up, right? And if it does pick up, that's fine. And then basically um, we will continue our day anyway. Okay. So cold calling, we said live cold calling, right? Let's see. All right. So we just have a person interested in our property, one of our property. Uh, and they're buying it for 190. Awesome. All right. Awesome. That's very cool. Very, very cool. All right. So, all right, cool. Yeah, I just got distracted by somebody interested in the property. All right, so because they just went to look at it and they're interested. All right, so now let's take a look here. Uh, all right, so I'm gonna call this guy, okay, and then we're gonna see if it picks up, and then we're gonna take it from there. All right. Uh, I was supposed to call him like 10 minutes ago. He really never confirmed, so let's see if it picks up. Hello, how you doing? This is Ola. How you doing? Very good, very good. You got a minute? Okay, great. You want $165,000 for that land? Okay. I'm looking at the market. Is there a way you can justify that? Because I'm looking at the market. There are only two lands that actually sold in recent times in all of Franklin Park. Maybe a little bit more in all of the township, Franklin. Okay. Why do you need to sell the property? All right, and that's good news because I was gonna tell you if you can sit on it, you're probably better off sitting on it for a while. I don't know if it's gonna be worth that much. I have in that area, I have in Franklin Park the two properties that sold recently on DeSoto Drive, 17 acres sold for $275,000. And 20, another 25-acre on Lindsay sold for $195,000. All right. So, and those are actually those are a lot of it's a apartment complex type of land. Your property is a residential. I get that. I do see one on Route 27, maybe not too far away from you, that sold for 1.3, but it's a zoning MB, which means neighborhood business property. Okay. So I can't justify $165,000 for your property. So what I'm going to advise is probably sit on it and see how far it goes if you don't have to sell. Okay. The other property that based on the 17 acres and the 25 acres I told you, in this present market, you cannot get more than if you're lucky, you'll get $25,000 for it. If you're lucky. Okay. Well, I think you're kidding. Okay. Thank you. Goodbye. All right. So I could tell that he's full of it, but I wanted you to hear that. He said, I think you're kidding. And he said goodbye, Um, but that's what happens. He purchased this property. Okay. I'm going to basically not say too much about the property so we can cover his so we can protect his privacy. He purchased this property in 1991 at $100. That's at least what it's showing. Okay. So a lot of people are delusional like that, and I see a lot of even new wholesalers coming in the game. Everybody's talking about land and stuff like that right now. They saw the video on somebody purchasing the land for $250, and then imagine if that person comes back 5 years from now. They're delusional. They now think that their land is worth $100,000. They're trying to make a killer, right? That's delusional, right? And you're gonna stumble into a lot of people like that, right? I wanted to create some content from that, and that's why I decided to call him while we're on here. But if you notice, I didn't mention his name. I didn't say anything about the address. But he texted me earlier. He actually sent me a text from our text message marketing. Okay, so we reached out to him. It was a prospecting for another property that he had already sold already. Okay, but clearly he's looking for a home run, right? And you're gonna stumble into a lot of people like that, and that's okay. Your job primarily is obviously marketing, but if you want to make marketing easier for yourself, educate people. And when you educate a lot of people, they will actually appreciate it and they may come back to you months later. This guy is never going to come back to me. This guy is never going to make a dime on this property. Now, here's the bad news for him. His property uh, is generating $3,760 per year for the city. Okay, that's the bad news for him because he's spending $3,700 every year on a property that's basically worth only $5,000. Okay, $5,000. So the reason why I brought this up is very important because if you're going to be wholesaling properties, you need to understand how to value anything in life, especially real estate, of course, right? You need to learn how to do that. And if you don't learn how to do that, you will only you waste time and potentially you waste other people's time. Okay, very, very important. All right. So keep in mind his property. One thing I forgot to tell you so far is that his property is 1.26 acres. It's 1.25 acres. Okay, basically about 60,000 square feet. I think it's 30,000.68, something like that. All right. So actually, I can do the conversion real quick. Make sure I'm saying the right thing. All right. So 1.26 acres to square feet. Square feet. All right. So we can tell you guys is that what am I using? Google. Okay. Google is your friend. All right. So it's about 54,000 square feet. Okay. It's it's a small property. It's not. I mean, compared to the comparables that are in the area. Okay. Now, pay attention to what I'm doing right now. It's very important that you pay attention to the numbers I share with you right now. Okay, I wish there's a way I can show the watermark on the screen, but like just pay attention. Okay. Um, the property that sold, potentially more than a mile away from there. There are only two properties that sold in recent times in that town. It's a small town. Okay, one sold for $275,000. That's 17 acres. That's more than 12 or 13 more than is the size of his lot. His lot is 1.26. 17 acres sold for 275. He wants $165,000. It's delusional again, right? So if you do that math, okay, how do you do that math? I'm going to do that math with you right now, okay? If 17 acres sold for $275,000, all you have to do is divide $275,000 divided by 17.88 acres. That's $15,000 per acre. And then multiply by the size of his lot, which is 1.26. So that's $19,000. Remember, he wants $165,000. That's just based on that one property. Remember, only two lands sold. Okay. Now, to be honest, based on Zillow. Okay, I did find three other properties that sold in the last 1 year on the MLS. And I'm going to share that information with you as well. The idea of data is that there must be multiple reasons to justify any type of value. Okay, the more reasons you have, the more data points you have, right? The better. That's the way it works. Okay, the more data points you have, the better. All right, so let's just keep that in mind. So now there's a second property, according to Zillow, that sold for $195,000, 25 acres, zoning CR, which means clustered residential, meaning apartment complex, right? So if you ever see that anywhere, zoning CR, it means clustered residential. Okay. If you see R2, R3, R20, R40, very likely it's just simple residential. The numbers is based on what kind of size of property is allowed on it. And it depends on the city too. So you want to check with the city. All right. So the numbers behind the R or the letters will vary based on what city or what part of the country you're in. So now the other one that sold for $195,000 is 25 acres. So $195,000 divided by 25.18, that's 7,744 per acre. Multiply that by his number of acres, which is 1.26. So that's 9,757. Okay, so as a buyer, I have to be conservative. As a seller, I'm optimistic because I'm trying to get more money. As a buyer, I'm trying to buy low. I'm conservative. So we have $19,000 earlier. We have 9,700 now. So I'm just going to use 9 and 19,000. So those are the two properties, as far as Zillow is concerned, that Zillow can see sold in that town. Okay, so $9,000. I'm just rounding the number down, not up. I'm conservative because I am a buyer. If that way, if I need to move up a little bit in the future to buy the property, I can still move up. That's the idea, right? So $9,000 plus $19,000, right? So I'm looking for the average divided by two, $14,000. So remember, I told him that if he's lucky, he'll get $25,000. And here's why I said that. Let me share with you. There's a third property that sold for $1.3 million. It's 1.4 acres, but it's right on a major road, a major, literally, state road, Route 27. All right. And that property is zoned NB, which means neighborhood business. So the person that bought that property, they probably have an idea. Maybe they're going to build a bank on it, a bank building or something like that, but it's a business, it's zone business. It's not residential. So it's not a comparable, basically. Okay. All right. So let's keep looking here. All right. Let me just, let me get this call real quick, guys. Hey, Chris, what's up? Yes. All right, so it's a land issue. We're dealing with an engineer subdivision plan. You see this? Check this out. Check this out. 10 acres. All right. We have to do creative deal and stuff. Different topic for another day, but just wanted to share that with you. So we're trying to get a hold of the engineer who did the subdivision. All right, so let me make sure that I'm unmuted. All right, so we don't make the same mistake again. So let's get back to what we're talking about, right? So now when I checked the MLS, I found 3 other properties. Okay, found 3 other properties, and one sold for $29,000. Okay, but I think I should actually, I'm gonna pull that up so I can tell you the proper numbers. Um, land search, land, and there you go. Status sold. Sold is the most accurate way to look at the value of a property. Of course, you can look at active as well. The appraisers will look at active to see what people are thinking about or what people are potentially looking for in the area. There's a formula to that with the appraisers, but essentially we look at sold. Okay. So let's see here. Sold land in the last 1 year. We came up with 3 properties. One is 0.18 and it sold for 29. Sorry, it sold for $20,000, but it was on the market for 921 days. 921 days it was on the market. How long is that? That's like 2+ years, I think, right? Well, more than 2 years, possibly up to 3 years. Okay, 365 days. 921 divided by 365 days. Let's see here. Divided by 365 days. 2.52. 2.5 years. Okay, it took to sell a property 0.18 acres, small land nonetheless, but it took 921 days at $20,000. Fair enough. Another 1.22 sold $75,000. Okay, took 27 days. All right, now maybe he has a point. 0.22 acres. He has 1.6. He has a 1.25 acres. Okay, okay. So one 1.26. All right, divide that by 0.22, so we can get about almost 6 of that out of it. So $75,000. Maybe it's not as delusional, okay? But here's the problem, and I'm going to share the problem with you here in a second, okay? There's another one, 2.27 acres, that sold for $264,000. Okay, now, I didn't do much research here. Here's why. I have the MLS is showing a total of 3 properties sold in the area. The numbers are a little, you know, and then Zillow is showing other properties selling at 9,000, 19,000. Bottom line here is this, okay? When I now went and looked at Redfin, okay, I just wanted to see enough data. The bottom line is that I was looking for enough data. There was not enough data to even get into this deal. Okay. I personally think he should sit on it, right? He's looking for $165,000. I check out the comparables in the area. Okay. The comparables of this property, the highest that sold in the area sold for 445. He wants 165. Okay. If I put a 2,500 square feet house on that property, it's gonna cost me $150 to $175 per square footage. Are you paying attention here? If you have to rewind this video and rewind again, take notes, write them down as I'm talking about it. Do what you got to do because you need to understand this, okay? It will be beneficial if you understand this. Let me say it that way. Maybe you don't need to understand upfront altogether, but it will be beneficial, okay? So if it costs me $150 per square footage, multiply that by 2,500 square foot. Naturally, let's be fair. 2,300 square foot is the average biggest house in that area. Okay, because also zoning, there's a certain type of house you can build. If you can build past a certain size, so safely we can say 2,300 based on the comparables I saw. It may be different. 2,300 multiplied by $150 per square footage, it will cost about $345,000 to build this house. Let's just say safely between $300,000 and $400,000. If I paid him, let's just use this number 345. If I paid him 165 plus 165, right? Sorry, minus 165. I need to plus 165,000. That my cost will be at 510. The property is the highest property sold at for 445. So I'm in trouble. Okay, I basically cannot afford to pay 165 to this guy. Okay, if I'm going to do this deal, at the minimum, I need to make about $75,000. Okay, so let me just say like $75,000. So my profit needs to be at least $75,000 in order to build minimum. I doubt if any builder is willing to take that on. By the way, so 75,000, right? The profit I want to make, right? Gross profit, not net profit, gross profit, right? 75 plus the cost of building, which is 345,000, right? All right. So now I got 420. The highest that sold in that area is what? 445. So 420 minus 445, $25,000. Okay. So he thinks I'm crazy. I know exactly what I'm talking about. Okay. So that was a good case study I wanted to share with you. And that was live, and you saw me talk to him. And, it's just what it is. People, if you talk to enough people like that, you will strike a deal. You will find a deal. The deal I just showed you right here is not, but the thing that the really most important thing in all of this is you need to be talking to motivated seller. Okay, and motivated seller does not mean they admit to be motivated. You need to be the judge of that, meaning they have to get rid of the property. They want out of the deal. They can't wait to get out of the deal. So even if $25,000 is too small, they will be willing to have a conversation with me if they're motivated. If they're not motivated, they're basically stuck on their price. They're delusional. Maybe not. Maybe he already made a point that, like he doesn't have to sell. If someone doesn't have to sell, there is no motivation. Don't waste your time. Ask them if they have other properties they need to sell. As a matter of fact, we called him for a different property, and then he said, "Hey, I have this other land because that one is sold, but it's not motivated." He should sit on it for $100 and then giving the city $3,700 every year. Okay, so now case in point, this is very. He tried to sell it in the past, by the way. I'm actually going to pull that up right now. He tried to sell it. I gotta find that. It was on the market for more than like 321 days, basically. Bottom line, it was on the market for over 100 days, and it was trying to sell it at. I need to find the information. I need to find it. I think it's better that I find it. If you need to see my screen as I train, you need to join our membership. That's the only way. So if not, just enjoy this while it lasts. You can still gain a lot. All right. If you know what you're doing. Let's see here. Okay. I just got to find the MLS number so I can pull it up. Okay, 341. All right, so let's go take a look. All right, so it expired off the market after 343 days. It was listed at $129,900, and this happened Um, this happened up. It just expired last August. So clearly, if it was listed on the market for 343 days and it couldn't sell at 129, that clearly, again, don't deal. Try not to waste your time with people that are not motivated. That's just the word of advice that I have for you. Don't waste your time with people that are not motivated. Be on the move. Be moving fast. Have enough data. Move through data very, very fast. Have options when it comes to data. Have a pipeline of new leads coming through your system every day. Don't get stuck on one house, because that one house is very likely one out of a million chances, maybe not a million, not going to be a deal. Okay. But when you find a deal, it's going to be a nice payday. That's the bottom line. Okay, we're talking anywhere from $2,000, $10,000 to $100,000 to $200,000. There are people doing wholesale deals for $200,000. Okay, my highest is $82,000. So I need to break records. Obviously, I need to break records, right? So that's very, very important. Okay. Now, with that being said, I should give some shout outs. Okay, that's only fair. I want to do a shout out. If you leave me a comment, and no matter what it is, it could be hate, it could be love, it could be, I'm going to give you a shout out. If you ask a question, if you have just express yourself uh, in words how you like our sessions, that would be really, really nice. So shout out to Wilson. Wilson say, Ola, that's a Nigerian name. Much love, bro. Yes, absolutely. It's a Nigerian name. Not only that, I identify as a Nigerian. Okay. By birth, it's a little iffy, but I identify as a Nigerian. So shout out to Wilson. All right. And he made a comment on a video called "Should I Take Out a Loan to Start a Business?" So you may want to go check out that video. It's called "Should I Take Out a Loan to Start a Business?" and put my name in front of it. Ola Tokes Abitogun. And then that video will come up if you want to know what video he enjoyed. The other person that I want to give a shout out to here is it's I'll all smiles with double S. Okay, it says, "Don't think you actually answer the question." So I'm not sure, if you guys feel like an answer. So it's a video called "How to Find a Good Realtor," finding a real estate agent. Okay. Um, you know what? It's a different channel. Never mind. Okay, never mind. So it's a different video altogether. So let's just skip that part right there. All right. So that was that. Yeah. So I wanted to make that quick shout out. Now let's talk about joint ventures. Okay. But before we get into joint ventures, why don't we try to call one person? Let's do that, right? Let's do that. That's only fair. By the way, we are discovering new things every day because we're in the market. Okay. We are actually in this business. Okay. We are actually fixing and flipping. We are wholesaling deals. We are doing even creative deals that are not necessarily straight wholesale. Okay. So if you're looking for people that are actually in the business you want to learn from, you're at the right place. Okay. Beyond that, make sure you get the books. Okay. You can go get them at smartrealestatewholesaling.com. The audiobook is free if you are taking a trial of Audible, but the paperback is available, PDF is available, Kindle is available. Just go to smartrealestatewholesaling.com. All right. So, and the Smart Real Estate Wholesaling book, you need to read 10 to 15 times if you want to master wholesaling. And I can't stress that enough. And I know what I mean. I know what I'm talking about when I tell you to read it 10 to 15 times. There's too many people in this marketplace that are making a boo boo. Okay. And I don't mind if you're making a boo boo and you're learning, because we all started from somewhere and we all have to learn. But if you're making boo-boos that's making us lose deals, learn, obviously you can reduce the chances of that by making sure you're a good student of the game, you're willing to invest in your education, and you're taking this serious. All right. So let me go take a look at what we have. Today is what? Today's the 23rd. All right. Today's the 23rd. And I think I should follow up with this person. Let's see if it picks up. It was a contract that was sent out, has not been signed. Let's find out why, and then we'll see if there's a way we can help them, or maybe they catch a cold feet. It doesn't matter. We have a pipeline and the same thing you should have. All right. So let's check it out. Hey, Anthony. How are you? This is Ola. How's it going? How's it going? Did you send the contract back to me yet or no? For 690, yes. Mm-hmm. 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 Right. You mentioned that. You did. You mentioned that. Mm-hmm. 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 Is that what the contract says? Oh, that must have been a mistake. That's just that's the standard for most of the properties we deal with. So I'll change that. What do you want it to be? What do you want the earner's deposit to be? Mhm. Tell me what you want. Oh, 10%. Okay. Okay, okay, okay. That's not a problem, by the way. What else? Uh-huh. Mm-hmm. Right, right. So here's the thing, okay? I told you when I spoke to you, I said, I'm the guy because I'm flexible and I work with you to get it done. And I would not hold you hostage while we're getting it done. Yeah, you can literally sign my contract so I can get to work and you can tear it up 24 hours later. I don't care because we're handling a lot of properties out here. You know what I'm saying? But the, mhm, mhm, mhm. Yeah. Mhm. Well, that's how you feel obliged to me. I'm telling you, I'm the in the court of law. I get to set you free if you have to be free. You know, see, that's fine. I'll give you a writing. I do that from time to time too. I say, hey, you're free to go. But my point here, anyway, is that my primary purpose is to get you what you want, is to serve you. That's I don't. I'm not a lawyer, so I don't like even having legal talks too much because there are lawyers to do that. You know what I mean? So with regards to that, right? Whatever you want to get the deal done, that's what we focus on. I don't want to there's only three things here. We don't cheat, we don't steal, we don't lie as a regular human being. Hmm. Right. Hmm. Hmm. Well, then you're absolutely right with what you just said, which is basically, you remember you mentioned, are you a serious seller? Am I a serious buyer? Right? What I can tell you is I'm a serious real estate professional. So when I get into this, I don't play around. I just followed up with you. Okay. I just need you to kind of step it up with me as well too, because if you see that, you could have picked up the call and say, hey, Ola, are you serious about the 1,000? And then we can fix that. Mhm. Mhm. Yeah. I can understand how you feel that way, but let me just do this. If you want to, I'll fix it. I'll resend it back to you, right? If you show it to your lawyer and he tells you he throws it away, that's okay too. Again, my focus here is to get this deal disposed for you and get it done. That's my focus. Mhm. As is. Yes. After the end of 2019, which is about February the 15th. 45 days from 45 days after the end. I'll word. It's supposed to be 45 days after the contract is executed. We'll make sure we word that properly as well too. That's not what it says, because that would take us 8 months out. No, so first of all, the 45 days, that's going to be tentative, but if there's any reason why it's extended, I'll let you know. I'll give you upfront, right? But we're talking about 9.75 that is not subdivided yet, right? Not almost 10 acres that's not subdivided yet, that we don't have a plan on. There's so much more. Well, the 10 acres is actually 2 lots. So it's already 2 lots. Yeah, it's 2 lots. I get that. I get that. So, but I'm packaging it into one contract, right? So again, we're gonna do some due diligence once I have the black and white from you, right? And then it depends. The way we are able to do this kind of deals is we need to have a clear picture of what we want to do with it. You know what I mean? So that because nobody's buying a bunch of acres without having an idea of what they want to do with it. You know, so that's why I say, you can do your due diligence even without my consent. But in any case, listen to me. If you want to change anything that we're discussing now, let's say that the 1,000 is a mistake. Yeah, I'm going to make it 10%. Normally, it's 10%. Yeah. You're also saying that the contract is a tentative date of closing 45 days after 2019. It says after 19. Yeah. You're absolutely right. I see why. Yeah, it's a mistake. It's a mistake. Mhm. Yeah. You want me to send you the? You want me to send you the video? Yeah, send me the attachment. Oh, the attachment. You still couldn't open the DocuSign? Yeah, DocuSign. I couldn't open DocuSign, but yours with the attachment, I can open it and print it out. Okay, I'll get that out to you. No problem. Give me till the end of the day, okay? All right, thank you. All right. What about that? All right. All right. So, one thing I'm going to point out to you here, and it's a mistake that I was making, and I want to correct it, and then share that with you. And I caught myself in the middle of it. It happens to the best of us. Again, the idea is not to be perfect here. The idea is to continue to be learning always. Okay, that's basically what you want to do. You want to be learning always, always. Okay. A mistake I was making as I was talking to this gentleman who is a uh, older fella, above 70, is that I was talking a bit too much. Remember, when you're having conversation with people, you want people to have 75% of the talking, and you can have 25% or less. Okay. That's the definition of a quality conversation. You ask a question, you serve their need if you can. Sometimes serving their need, giving them value, is letting them go, by the way. That's okay. That's why you need options and you need a pipeline. Okay. Um, but I was talking a bit much. He just happened to be motivated, right? Remember, I said don't talk to people that I know is motivated. But at the same time, being motivated doesn't mean you want to talk to serious people only. Okay. So there was an error in the contract. It's anytime you're dealing with a big contract, 500,000, $500,000 or above, of course, people want you to show 10% down payment of some sort. It's not a residential where you put down 3.5% or anything crazy like that. This is, if you want to be taken serious, you got to put earnest money deposit 10%. Do you have to pay that upfront? No, you don't have to pay. You just got to get them to sign it, and then you can have somebody to talk to a few people about, like, listen, I have this contract, and if that person puts money down, you can do JV all day long and get that deal done. So I gotta correct the contract and get that out to him. He's also having trouble doing e-sign, electronic signature. He's having trouble with that. This deal right here, if it's going to close, it will close. If it's not, it won't. It's not one of those situations where you can force it. You just flow with it. It may get to a point, it gets stuck, and we can't move forward, and that's okay. All right. So he was mentioning that if his attorney sees subject to attorney approval, he will throw it out the window. That's the point. We hire the attorneys, they don't hire us. Okay. But if you make the attorneys God, of course, they can throw your contract out the window. Now, if I'm dealing with a client and they said the attorney threw a contract out the window, they're simply not motivated keyword enough. And that's okay. If you throw my contract out the window, it's turned up. That's the bottom line. But our contracts, are they necessarily binding? Yeah. If there's a problem, they're binding. However, people don't get into real estate transactions to be trying to figure out if something is binding or not. They want to close a deal. Both the buyer and the seller want to close a deal, and that's what your focus should be. As a wholesaler, your focus should be on serving them. Okay, you don't have to stress that the way I stress that so much. You could just, let the action speak a lot louder than your voice. That's one of the mistakes I was making. But because I've spoken to him a few times, I was kind of comfortable. But relax, let them talk and give them what they want if you can. He wants the contract to be showing 10%. There you have it. Then we had another place where it was showing 45 days after 2019. It was supposed to be 45 days after execution of the contract. Okay, so that's a mistake on my part. I got to fix that because that's probably showing on other people's contract as well as the template on the contract that we need to fix. But that's why we follow up with people. And I also accuse them of not following up with me. You don't have to do that with your customers or potential customers. Again, just focus on serving them, but make sure you have options. Make sure you have a pipeline. Make sure you're dealing with data, tons of data, leads. Leads are coming in every single day. That way, you're not stuck on any one individual. Okay, because most people you encounter are not going to want to sell you a house at a discount or be open to creative deals or be motivated at all. So that's very, very important to keep in mind. Now, let's get back to JV disasters. Okay, there's a lot of people trying to play both sides of the fence in the marketplace, and I want to warn you specifically against that. Okay, the thing is that it really doesn't matter if you're a finder or you're a joint venture partner. It really doesn't matter. Every deal is depends on deal by deal by deal by deal. What I'm asking you is that you need to define what capacity you're operating in. If you bring me address, you're a deal finder, and you tell me the address has overgrown weed, you're a deal finder. Okay, I may choose to give you a few dollars, $50, $25 for bringing me such address as a potential deal. If it passes the criteria, basically you're a driver for dollars. Okay, but I don't do that, just so you know. Okay, now if you bring me a pre-qualified deal, they are ready to go, meaning you have a contract in place already, then you are in fact a partner. In that case, you just want us to help you dispose of the deal. You deserve anywhere from 25 to 50% of the deal. Okay, if it's not pre-qualified, then you're going to get less than that. You're going to get 1,000, 2,000, 10% of the deal if you're in the deal all the way to the end, if you don't make money up front. Okay, but basically it depends on what value you bring, how valuable the lead, how qualified the lead you bring to the table is. Okay, and there's a lot of things going on when it comes to the joint venture part of the game right now. The gurus are teaching people that it can be joint venture, and that's fine. Joint venture, partnership, the business is based off of that anyway. Okay, and I've never closed a single deal where I didn't have to partner with somebody in some capacity. Okay, so I encourage partnership by all means, but when somebody put a house under contract and then you take that address and you go shop it and you had your own fees on top of it, I am starting to really, really discourage that. Okay, it looks very messy. Okay, and by the way, you don't owe anybody any explanation. Okay, but if you do enough of that, it will mess up your reputation in the local market, among the investors, among the people that are actually buying. But again, if you're building your business like a real wholesaling enterprise, then no one single human being matters, by the way. Okay. Then we know that you're generating your own leads, you're putting houses under contract, and then you are direct to seller. So when you want to shop other people's property for sale, ask if they're direct to seller, meaning they have a contract. Potentially ask them to send you the contract, a copy of the contract before you send out the property. If they're requesting that you should help them market the property for them, then they definitely should send you a copy of the contract. If you're asking them to shop their property, they don't have to give you anything. Okay, but you should at least ask if they're direct to sellers. Direct to seller mean they're the one who personally signed the contract that you guys are trying to sell. Now, if you don't ask that, you potentially you will have a situation where there's five middlemen between you and the owner of the property trying to sell the same property, and the property has been marked up so much, everyone is trying to make a dollar, and you don't have any control when you do that. You have zero control of the deal. So now you have a buyer and they need to see the property, and no one can get somebody to open the property. No one can give access to the property because you have so many people in between. There's a lot of messy JV situations like that going on. Okay. So, how do we solve that problem? Ask people, if you're the one approaching them, ask them if they're direct to seller and if it's okay to market the property, and ask them if it's okay for you to make $5,000, $10,000 from the deal. Is there space for me to make $5,000 from the price that's already on the property? Because let me share with you like this. If a property is marked at $110,000, $110,000, right? And you just ask them, hey, can I shop this property? Can I JV? And you say, yeah, you just have to add your own fee on top of it. So it's $110,000, right? So you go add your own fee, 115, and you blast it out to everyone. You market it out, you sent it out to people. These investors are sleek, okay? They're extremely sleek these days, and many of them will circumvent you and go around you to go talk to the person who is direct to seller. How would they know? Because their price is usually lower than yours. Okay, all they have to do is Google the address. They can see on Craigslist it's posted there. They can see on forsalebyowner.com it's posted there. They can check their email and check in their Gmail and search in Gmail to see the property right there at a lower price. Why would they come back to you? They're not going to come back to you. Plus, they don't have to come back to you because they don't have any obligations to you. They're not your family. Okay, they will go to where the price is cheaper because this is business all day long. Okay, so ask if it's okay to get it out to your network at the same price and how much are they willing to pay you. So if that person goes search somewhere else and they see the same price, they have no reason to circumvent you. There's no real dollar reason to go around you. So basically they'll call you and see if they like the price. Plus you're not marking the price up unnecessarily now. Are we making sense here? So pay attention, guys. Keep it, if you want to JV with people, keep it at the same price and get it out to people. And it's not something that we had to do for the longest. I've been in the business. Uh, I closed my first deal back in 2005. How many years is that? So if you we've never had to do that. I could mark a price, but the market wasn't so saturated with a lot of newbies. By the way, I don't really believe in saturation because the cream always rises to the top. However, it's a reality that a lot more people are aware of what wholesaling is. So you need to stand out. And I talk about standing out a lot in this book. Smart Real Estate Wholesaling. You got to be smart about this. All right. And you need to have certain mindset to set yourself apart so you're not like everyone else and just shopping the same deal all over the place and marking up the price. It looks messy. And by the way, it becomes more and more against the law because you're not supposed to be selling a property if you're not a licensed agent. And if you're a licensed agent, you're not supposed to be pushing a property in that way without listing it on MLS. There's all kind of gray areas and you're treading over a lot of lines there by engaging in such activities. Does that make sense? So that's the JV disaster that I wanted to talk about. And it's kind of like the same thing as deal finder, wholesaling. Are you wholesaling? Are you a partner? Did you generate the lead? Are you just a deal finder? It depends on how qualified the lead you bring to the table is. Make sure you identify what capacity you're operating in. Don't go to people say you want to work for them or work with them, and then you go around shopping the deal to other people all over the place. It gets messy. Maintain your cool in this business. Make sure you're cool. All right. Make sure you maintain your cool in this business. Make sure that, to be honest with you, I have sent out other people's properties. Eventually, I noticed that there's a lot of people doing messy stuff. I stopped doing that unless they approach me directly or I know them personally that they don't do the chain connection of contract, verbal contract all over the place, then I'm open to collaborations. But all they're my student, right? Which I know for a fact that my student is getting the property under contract, right? Meaning they've paid money. to be a student, not some random student of the street. I'm saying they've invested in themselves. I know what operation they're doing. In fact, 99% chance they're using my system. Okay, so that's something that you should pay attention to. All right. So we talked about zoning, we talked about estimating value. Let's see here. There's one more thing we got to talk about, and it was an example that happened today. One of the guys that work with us here, one of our partners, brought a deal to the table, and it's basically a situation where two daughters, okay, children, let's just say children, trying to sell a lady's house, and a lady is incapacitated. You can't really make a decision for herself anymore. Let me just say that. And they're trying to sell her house. Okay. And but because they have power of attorney, all right. First of all, power of attorney need to specify that it's for the property to be sold. Okay. If it's just a power of attorney for generic, it's not going to be useful at the closing table. They won't be able to sell the property. That's number one. Okay. So there are, in order to get somebody who is incapacitated to sell their property, there are legal processes to go through to make sure people get the right orders, right paperwork in place to be able to make a decision on real estate transaction or any kind of crazy asset class transaction. That's number one. The second thing that happened is that there was they thought because there's a deed to the property that there is no mortgage against the property. They're basically thinking in terms of like a car. Like if there's a note on the car, you probably won't have the title to the car until you finish paying off the car. What you will have is not a title. You don't have the actual title. But in real estate, it's different. Real estate, you will have the title, the deed to the property. There will just simply be a promissory note, a mortgage note against the property in the form of a lien. It will be a lien against the property, and that has nothing to do with the fact that you own the property. Two different things. It's basically the house is a collateral for the loan. The loan is standalone. It's a different asset entity on its own. It's called a promissory note. Okay. But if you don't actually own the house, of course you will see that it's a deed, and you'll find there's a lot when you have children trying to sell the the property of their parents. They oftentimes you'll find that they don't know anything about the property, but they want to sell it anyway. They won't be able to sell because at closing, someone has to pay off the loan that's showing. Not only that, the loan has tried to foreclose a few times. They couldn't. That was 3 years ago. And now there's a massive tax that's owed on the property. Okay. And now they thought it was just the taxes. Just pay off the taxes. We keep all $30,000. And boom, I asked him, I said, hey, who's going to pay off this mortgage? And then they're like, no, we don't know about any mortgage. We have the deed. Because you have a deed doesn't mean that there's no mortgage against the property. That's the job of title companies to find those things, but you can also check the city records, or you could consult with the person that owns the property. And if they cannot talk anymore, or they're not in a position to be able to talk, then you really can't sell the property. All right. So that's something that came up, and I thought it would be a good topic to differentiate. Because you have a deed doesn't mean there's no mortgage or other liens. There could potentially be other kind of liens against the property, mechanical liens, bills and power bills, sewage bills, craziness with the city bills, whatever. Could be all kind of liens. It could be IRS liens. Okay, you need to know all those things. If you don't know those things, it's to come back and bite you in the butt. You'll have a deal lined up. At closing, you won't be able to close. How do I know? Because I got burnt the wrong way, because I learned the hard way. Okay, it happened to me. And basically, I was at a closing. I thought I was about to make $35,000, and I had to walk out with, I think, like $1,000 or something like that. It was still okay. But there's a massive difference between $35,000 and $1,000 because we had to pay a bill. I've been in a situation where here in New Jersey, there's a company called PSENG that runs a lot of the power. I had to be running around in order to make sure there was a closing because there's a massive bill of PSENG against the property. So I had to get on the phone and start calling them and see if they can dismiss the bill, or if they can write it off, or if they can give us a discounted payoff of some sort, right? Because we found out last minute they didn't tell us that there was a bill. All right. Does it sound like a lot? Well, that's why you must make sure you educate yourself. At the very minimum, another form of education is make sure you're partnered with people that know what they're doing. And then over time, I'm still learning in the game. 15 years later, I'm still learning. You're picking up new stuff. You're picking up new stuff. Okay. I'm still learning just like anyone else. So, how much more you that you just got started in the less than 2 years ago or anything like that? Be open minded, understand the basic concept, but be willing to ask questions. Okay. You can't go wrong that way. All right. So that's very important that I share that with you. But so what happened? We spoke to two people today. We got one contract to correct, and one person told me to go f myself. That's how you know you're in business. All right. So if you enjoyed this session, please make sure you give the video a thumbs up. Please give it a thumbs up. Please. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I know it's not sexy to beg, right? But please give it a thumbs up, right? And if you're brand new here, make sure you go get the book, smartrealestateWholesaling.com. That's where you want to go. And I'm giving this as a bonus if you're getting the PDF version. But it's also available in Kindle, paperback like this one, audiobook for free if you are taking the trial of audible.com. You will see all of that at smartrealestateWholesaling.com. That's where you want to go. That's where you want to go. So let's have some fun. Let's keep doing this business. Share this video with other people. Leave me a comment so I can give you a shout out on the next session. Leave me a comment, say something, ask a question, or tell me how much you enjoyed this session or how much you hate it. Whichever one is perfectly fine. Uh, but thumbs up. Thank you so much. We'll see you on the next one. Peace.